How war and conflict have influenced global travel wars. And conflicts have always left indelible marks on societies, shaping cultures, economies, and even how we travel. War and conflict have altered travel routes and created iconic destinations. Historical conflicts have reshaped the global travel landscape in surprising ways. While war is often associated with destruction and hardship, the aftermath of conflict has sometimes opened new doors to exploration and tourism, allowing travelers to witness the resilience of communities and the power of cultural preservation. The historical connection between war and travel. Throughout history, wars and conflicts have disrupted established trade routes, created new connections between cultures, and transformed landscapes into places of historical significance. Let's examine some key ways war has influenced global travel. 1. The Silk Road and its transformation. During conflict. The Silk Road, one of history's most significant trade and travel routes, stretched from China to the Mediterranean. It was a vital link for exchanging goods, ideas, and cultures. However, wars and invasions often disrupted this route, forcing travelers to adapt. Impact of conflict. Despite its conquests, the Mongol Empire united much of the Silk Road under a single rule, creating a relatively stable period for trade and travel. Conversely, regional conflicts and the fall of key cities like Constantinople in 1453 shifted trade routes to maritime alternatives, diminishing the Silk Road's prominence. Today, remnants of the Silk Road attract travelers interested in its rich history. Countries like Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and China offer cultural and historical tours, tracing this ancient route. 2. World Wars and the creation of modern travel. Infrastructure. The two world wars in the 20th century profoundly impacted travel. They disrupted global movement and led to infrastructure and technology development that would later revolutionize tourism. Infrastructure development. During World War II, air travel became a strategic necessity, accelerating advancements in aviation technology. After the war, these developments paved the way for commercial airlines and international air travel. The construction of highways, railways, and ports for military purposes later benefited civilian travel. Sites like Normandy in France and the Auschwitz-Birkenau Memorial in Poland have become significant destinations for travelers seeking to understand the historical impact of the wars. 3. The Cold War and restricted travel. The Cold War era, 1947 to 1991, introduced a new type of conflict that greatly influenced travel. The ideological divide between the Western Bloc and the Eastern Bloc created barriers restricting movement while inspiring curiosity about hidden parts of the world. Impact of the Iron Curtain. Travel between the East and West was tightly controlled, limiting access to countries behind the Iron Curtain, such as East Germany, the Soviet Union, and Poland. Despite restrictions, adventurous travelers sought ways to explore these regions, sometimes through organized cultural exchanges or covert means. Modern legacy. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 opened Eastern Europe to tourism, and cities like Prague, Budapest, and Krakow are now among the most popular destinations. 4. Decolonization and new travel destinations. The decolonization period following World War II dramatically altered the world's political map, giving rise to new nations and reshaping travel. Post-colonial destinations. Former African, Asian, and Caribbean colonies emerged as independent nations, each with unique cultural identities. These regions have since become hotspots for cultural and adventure tourism. Countries like India, Kenya, and Indonesia began to attract travelers seeking exotic landscapes and rich cultural traditions. While decolonization brought independence and sparked conflicts in regions like the Middle East, affecting travel safety and accessibility. How wars create new travel routes. Wars often disrupt existing routes and create new ones. These shifts have had long-term implications for global travel. 1. The rise of maritime travel. After land route disruptions. Conflicts along land-based trade routes, like the Silk Road, led to the rise of maritime travel during the Age of Exploration. European powers sought alternative routes to Asia, leading to the discovery of the Americas and establishing sea routes to India and China. Impact on travel. The Portuguese and Spanish empires expanded global exploration, creating new maritime routes that would dominate for centuries. Ports like Lisbon, Amsterdam, and London became significant travel hubs. Modern influence. Maritime travel's legacy is evident in today's thriving cruise industry, with many routes tracing historical paths established during this period. 2. Air travel. During and after World War II was a turning point for air travel. The war effort pushed technological advancements in aircraft design, navigation, and safety. Key developments. Post-war, commercial aviation exploded as airlines like Pan Am and British Airways used surplus military planes to create passenger routes. Airports built during the war became civilian travel hubs, such as Frankfurt Airport in Germany and Narita Airport in Japan. Legacy for travelers. Air travel democratized global exploration, making distant destinations accessible to the average traveler. The interplay of war, conflict, and travel. War and conflict have profoundly shaped how we travel, altering routes, creating destinations, and leaving cultural legacies that endure today. From ancient trade routes to modern post-conflict tourism, the influence of war on global travel is both complex and enduring. Understanding the historical and cultural impacts of conflict allows travelers to engage more deeply with the places they visit. By exploring sites shaped by war, we not only honor the resilience of affected communities, but also gain a greater appreciation for our world's interconnectedness. Whether you're walking the streets of Hiroshima, exploring the Silk Road's remnants, or visiting Normandy's beaches, the stories of conflict and recovery offer valuable lessons and unforgettable experiences. Through mindful travel, we can contribute to a better understanding of our shared history and promote peace for future generations. If you want to learn more, you can visit the link in the caption or visit www.ABusOnADustyRoad.com.